My name, Roland. I am down the hall in Studio B, where we have a live broadcast made possible by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, and a good one today. Hey, Tyler Ramsey.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Welcome back.
Thanks.
When was the last time you were here?
We were trying to figure that out. I think it's a couple years. I think I was the first one to come in after you guys. I think I was the first person that came in here after everyone kind of shut down for a while.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I believe so.
Yeah, way back when.
I'll take it. If I didn't do that, then
Sounds good.
I'll claim that
Put
myself.
it on your resume anyhow.
Yeah.
So. Well, you've been busy, man. You got a bunch of new songs, new record coming out.
Yeah, new record coming out February 9th finally, and got lots of touring coming up and being a dad.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. That keeps me busy all the time anyway. So.
Right on. Yeah. life and music and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So Tyler Ramsey's playing live today. Bunch of shows coming up. The first one is Thursday at Highland Mountain House and Ruffed Grouse Tavern. I just like the name of the Ruffed Grouse Tavern, so can't go wrong. And a bunch of other shows. We can talk about that and talk about the record, and let's get a song to start it off.
Sure. All right. I'll play a new one called We Were a Small Town. We were a small town, everyone was hanging out. Be glad you never stuck around to see it all now. Don't take it serious, those kids we were never thought they'd be us. Now if they could only see us, man, what a joke. And you never know how the time is skating by. You probably wonder what you've done with your life from time to time. Had it to ourselves. Remember how the night was. Step out into the streets and run till the sun comes up. And I know you were beautiful, and I knew I was trouble. I knew I couldn't leave you alone. I never would, and you never know when there's someone taking up your time. I don't know what you would have done with your life, or me with mine. Is it getting old when you wake up in the middle of the night? Your tired eyes feel like you're running down a fading light. You never know how the time is skating by. You probably wonder what you've done with your life from time to time. The moon is beautiful tonight, but you'd never know. You're always up there with the curtains pulled. Is it getting old? I will never go. I knew I loved you from the first sight. Lately we're living through more darkness than light, but there is time.
WNCW and live music from Studio B from Tyler Ramsey. Small Town, is that the name of the song?
Yeah, it's called We Were a Small Town.
Yeah, and a brand new record out, the new Lost Ages, coming out, 2 weeks, something like that. Anything in one short answer, what do we need to know about the new record? What do you...
Oh, one short answer.
It's
going to be hard to come up with. I it's my best record yet. I worked really, really hard on this one, and I really felt like I focused on the writing maybe more than I ever have. I just really dug into like making sure the lyrics were right to capture what I was trying to do. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, and then I took it to Phil Eck in Seattle to record, which was a huge step for me to do that. In the past, I've done a record in my friend's basement. The first one I did, 20 years ago. The second one I did at Echo Mountain. Third one I did over in Nashville. And then I always worked with people that I felt really comfortable with. But this one I decided like I really wanted to go the route of using a producer that is fantastic and like trusting in him. So there was a lot of trust and it's just kind of like a big move for me to do it that way. So yeah, it turned out better than I'd hoped.
Yeah. What was the time frame on writing and creating the record?
I think I wrote the whole thing in about, a little under a year, just lots of it was written in kind of out near where I live. I live in Candler, and I've got these neighbors that have this cabin they were allowing me to stay in and use as like a kind of a writer's retreat. So I wrote a lot of it just in that place, right around the corner from my house. I feel like the generosity of that kind of played a big part in this album as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I'm sure every songwriter hates getting asked this, but like, how do you write? Like, is it lyrics, or do you have chord progressions? You have the strange tunings. How does it all come together?
I have lots of those strange tunings, obviously, but there's no formula for me necessarily. I guess the only formula I can think of is like that I do kind of tend to work better in a separated kind of environment where I can get a lot of solitude. So I'll go, go somewhere, whether it be like a cabin somewhere or a couple of times I've gone to like the coast and done like some cheap beach condo somewhere and like, hold up there. But, and then, it takes me like a day to kind of like feel grounded and like creative after, because my normal existence is pretty much being a dad and dealing with all the daily responsibilities and joys of being a parent. So it's hard to like really, really dive into like that place where I need to go to actually write the songs that I try to write. So yeah, I go to a place and I hide out, and then after a day I start feeling like kind of like, oh, okay, something's going to happen, and listen to a lot of music I like, and then pick up my guitar and start messing around. And
that's interesting about listening to music. So I've had people tell me they don't want to listen to music that's too much like what they're doing because it'll take over their voice. And what do you listen to like when you're getting into that place?
A lot of times I'll get super emotional like when I get alone. It's just like I've got to keep it together a lot of times when I'm in family mode, and not that I'm afraid to be emotional around my family, but it's just easier to kind of like dive into it a little bit when I'm on my own. So I listen to a lot of like just kind of like folky, sad songs sometimes, or like, there was a phase where I would like go out. I was writing stuff for the see what record that was. The Valley Wind. I wrote a lot of that in Hot Springs. And I went out there to a cabin a few times, and I remember I was like listening to Jackson Browne. Every time I showed up, I would like put Jackson Browne on for the first evening, and just, I don't know, just different things that are kind of like speaking to me at the time. I'll put those on.
All your songs always have these beautiful melodies, and they always surprise me. Like, I never know where they're going to go, and then like, I don't know, where's the melody come in? All of that, is that in there pretty quickly, or does it follow the lyric?
I mean, I feel like my vocal melodies are pretty heavily in touch with my guitar playing. So I feel like they come out of whatever progression I'm playing or whatever thing I'm starting to come up with. They kind of lock into that. But yeah, there's so much potential when you're trying to like create a path for the vocal melody over a song. But I don't know. They seem to lock in pretty much around the same time for me and work together, hopefully.
That's cool. So Tyler Ramsey, the master songwriter, and what number record is this for you? Like 5?
This is the fifth solo record, yeah.
Yeah, so it's officially out on February 9th, New Lost Ages. The single's been out for a while. I guess there'll be more coming, and then the full length on February 9th. Let's mention some of your shows. Thursday at the Highland Mountain House and Ruffed Grouse Inn. It's coming up in a couple days. Then February 6th, hang on, I got too many notes. Citizen Vinyl, an album listening party, February 6th. February 7th, you're at the Bijou over in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Got a full band for that one.
Yeah, full band for that.
I've got you February 16th and in store at Records in the Rad in Nashville. So
old friends of mine.
Yeah. So and I know there's a bunch of other shows in the area here in the next few weeks. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the bulk of what's happening in this area, and then I head out, for tour after the record comes out, like later in February. But yeah, I'm excited to do the Highlander Mountain House, and I've only seen pictures of it, and I've had a couple of friends play there, and just were, over the moon about how cool that place is. So that'll be a fun one. And then, Citizen Vinyl will be like I guess the Steve Canyon Rangers went in there and did something similar to what I'm going to do, is like just play the new record and talk about it, which will be hopefully not awkward for everyone. Just hang out and listen to me talk about songs. Yeah, it's going to be fun though, and that'll be like the kind of first sneak peek of the whole album, and I think we'll be selling copies of it that night too, even though it's a couple days before official release. All
right, so Tyler Ramsey's playing live today. Again, the record we're talking about is the New Lost Ages.